Missing Link is the fifth animated movie from Laika Studios. They've done Paranorman, Kubo and the Two Strings, Coraline, Box Trolls. The ones I've seen have been really good, so I was really interested to check out Missing Link. Missing Link focuses on the character of Lionel Frost, voiced by Hugh Jackman. He's an explorer, he's an adventurer. He's on a mission to find Sasquatch, something that has eluded him for a long time, to become a member of this band of hunters and adventurers that he hasn't become a part of yet. But then when he comes across Sasquatch, he finds out that this Sasquatch, just named that we'll call Mr. Link, just wants to get home to be with his own kind in the hidden city of Shangri-La. And they go there, and then they have some trouble on the way as well. I really always liked Laika Studios' animation style, how it's stop motion. I think that they do a really good job with that. Travis Knight is their CEO, and he was the director of Bumblebee. He did a very good job with Bumblebee. So I was really interested to see what somebody not named Travis Knight would do in a Laika Studios movie, and I really enjoyed Missing Link. It's not their best one that I've seen. I think it's definitely the weakest, but I still really enjoyed it. I love the adventure feel that this movie has. I love myself a good adventure movie. The Adventures of Tintin, Indiana Jones, the Tomb Raider movies, yes, even the Angelina Jolie ones that are kind of bad, that they're good. Anything that has to do with an adventure, I like. The Uncharted games, also great. I love the Uncharted games. Just the thought of being on an adventure, exploring, coming to these new places, discovering something new, that's what I really like about movies like this. And I thought that this movie captured that very well. Maybe not as well as something like Indiana Jones would or Uncharted would, but for a kid's movie that is a stop-motion animation movie, it did a very good job at doing that. And I thought the voice acting was really good. There's a main character in here named Adeline. I did not know that that was Zoe Saldana. I thought it was somebody else. She does a really good job. Timothy Olyphant as the main villain, very good. Zach Galifianakis, though, as Sasquatch. He was probably the best part. Not to take anything away from any of the other actors. Somebody I didn't mention was Hugh Jackman, who was also really good. But Zach Galifianakis as Mr. Link, or as they call him in the movie, Susan. Really good voice work by Zach Galifianakis. I think this might be his best work to date. And I actually did not know that he was playing him. The only one that I knew was in this movie was Hugh Jackman. I didn't know any of the other ones were really in the movie. This movie's got a good message about friendship, even though somebody might be a little bit different than you. Just, and you come across them and you're trying to help them out, and you kind of have your own differences, It's the fact that these two characters, Frost and Mr. Link, come together and they become friends, and it's a good message to show kids in this type of movie. However, I felt the movie felt a bit too familiar, especially in the Uncharted realm, where they're going after Shangri-La. There's just a lot in here where I was like, that is Uncharted 2. Like, seriously, they are in a Tibetan village. It is straight out of Uncharted 2. And it didn't really, I don't think it's necessarily, all that much of a negative. It's just something that took me out of the movie and kind of bothered me for a little bit. Kind of put my mind somewhere else for a split second. It's like, I've seen this before. And so a little bit of familiarity with other material that has already been produced kind of hindered this movie a little bit. As well as the fact that I didn't really like the villain in this movie. I'm just gonna go after these people and capture this thing because I'm working for this other guy who's really the main villain, but he doesn't do anything. That's kind of where I'm leaning with the main villain on this movie. Just wasn't all that interesting. And there are times in this movie where I feel as if it's pandering more towards kids rather than adults, because movies like this, I feel like you have to appeal to both kids and adults, which this movie does, but there's quite a few times where the jokes don't really land. I didn't really find myself chuckling, but the kids in back of me that kept kicking my seat definitely were chuckling and laughing. They were having a really good time, which is good for the kids. And again, I did enjoy the movie. It's just there's certain aspects of it that has to appeal to adults as well. And I felt the humor didn't really do that. And there were some scenes where I was just like, that's a little too childish for me. But I really did enjoy Missing Link. It's not Laika Studios' best movie, but I had a fun time with it. I always like myself a good adventure movie. They're kind of a guilty pleasure for me no matter how good or bad they are. I just like adventure movies, like being on an adventure, exploring, discovering new territories in a world like this. So Very well animated movie, very good voice acting from the actors involved, very good direction, very good writing, despite some familiar things and maybe pandering more towards kids than adults. I'm going to give Missing Link a B+. Guys, thank you for watching my review for Missing Link. You can check out my social media accounts in the description below. I will leave those links. You guys are the best. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.